Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Katie. All right, so for today's video, I'm going to be DIYing things that you guys DM'd me. I love when people make this type of video. I know Drew from Lone Fox has done it. I think the Sorry Girls actually were the ones that started this a few years back. So I asked you guys on Instagram to send me pictures of things that you've seen that you want to see me try to recreate or DIY, and I had so much fun with it. I picked a couple that I think turned out really well. So I'm gonna show you the inspiration pictures and then take you through the process that I did to try to recreate them. So let's go ahead and get started. So this vase was sent to me by Michelle, and this is from Urban Outfitters, and it's originally $59. I love the modern look of it, and I've really been into making pottery like pieces lately, so I definitely wanted to jump on this one. For the base, I used a cardboard breadcrumb canister because it was the perfect size. You could use something like this or a plain glass base. For the top, I used this bowl that came in a pack of 4, and I really liked the rib pattern that it already had on it. So to give the vase a similar texture to the original, I decided to cover the canister with air dry clay. So I rolled out a large piece of clay to try to cover the majority of the canister, and I knew it wouldn't be perfect, but I'll go back in and cover up any blank spots later. So I laid the canister over the clay and started to wrap the clay around it. And as you can see, it definitely wasn't enough to cover the entire thing yet. The clay was pretty thick, so I pushed some of it around the canister to thin it out and cover up some of the bare spots. I paid extra attention to the top and bottom areas, making sure to go all the way to the metal rim, and then I started adding smaller pieces of clay here and there to fill in the gaps. Air dry clay is really easy to blend, so I just used my fingers to smooth out the seams, and I also kept a small bowl of water nearby so that I could dip my fingers in it and use it to smooth everything out even more. Once I had the entire canister covered in clay, I spent some time making sure all the seams where I'd connected the clay were fully smoothed out. And I wasn't trying to be perfect here because if you look at the original, there are indentations on the vase which give it more of a handmade look, so this is what I was trying to aim for. I realized that the bottom section needed to be covered a bit more, so I pushed the clay down and made sure to give it a clean edge at the base. I let this dry overnight, and then as you can see, as it dried, the clay did shrink somewhat and leave some cracks. And this can happen if the clay is thin or if you use too much water. So to fix this, I mixed some extra clay with water and filled in the cracks. You can see this does a really good job of covering these up and making it look more seamless. Once I had finished this step, I used some E6000 to glue the bowl into the top of the vase. And I'm glad I used this bowl because it's really lightweight and it won't make this piece top heavy. So to cover up the gap between the bowl and the base, I used even more of the slip, the clay and water mixture to fill in the crack. This worked really well to give the effect that this is one piece. Then to paint it, I used flat black spray paint and gave it 2 to 3 coats to cover it fully. The original piece has 4 rings on the top portion, so I used some oven baked clay to recreate these. To do this, I rolled it out and then wrapped it around this round plastic piece. Then I used my clay knife to cut off the excess and smoothed out the seam with my fingers. I repeated this 3 more times for a total of 4 rings, and then baked them in the oven and painted them with the same black paint. The last step is to add the rings, so I glued them on and made sure to keep them equally spaced all around. I'm so happy with how this piece turned out. I think it looks really chic and modern, and it only cost about $15 to make. Candle holder was sent to me by Sarah, and it is originally $100 from Pottery Barn, which I think is pretty crazy, so I thought it would be fun to recreate this one. I love the contrast between the frosted glass and the wood on the bottom, and I love having candles all over my house, so I thought I definitely had to try this one out. To create this candle holder, I used a glass vase. This one is pretty tall, but you can use any size that you have. To give it the frosted look, I found this sea glass spray paint, which worked amazingly well. Once it was dry, it had the perfect frosted sea glass look to it. For the wood portion, I got this wood veneer banding, which is super thin and easy to bend, and it comes in a bunch of different sizes, so you can choose whatever width you want it to be. So I cut out a section long enough to fit around the vase, and I wanted to get the color closer to the original, so I used this gel wood stain in a walnut color. I squeezed it directly onto the wood strip and used a sponge brush to spread it around. And I really like using gel stains because they don't have as much of an odor as regular wood stain and they function more like paint. So once the stain was dry, I added some glue to either end and wrapped it around the bottom of the vase, making sure to hold it until it was fully cooled. Now you can add your candle. I'm using a flameless candle, but I think this came out great, especially since the original was $100 and I spent about $15 on mine. I think these turned out so well, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think and which one was your favorite. It is so much fun to make things for a fraction of the price and save some money. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and thank you to everyone who sent in your suggestions. If you like this type of video, let me know because I'd love to do another one in the future. And you can always send me things that you want me to DIY, and maybe sometime I'll include it in one of my videos. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you want to see more videos every Sunday, and I'll see you guys soon.